As we start today's video, I'm going to ask you to do one thing. Write down the answer to the question, who are you? Now you, like many others, may have written down an answer that either included where you came from, what you do, or what hobbies you enjoy. Now try and answer that again without including any of those. We find it difficult to answer these questions without including who we are, what we do, or what past experiences we've had. This is difficult because when we think of who we are, we can only base it on a judgment of the things we've done or the person we were before. This is quite difficult when trying to move on in our lives and establish a new sense of who we are when we're basing it on old statistical data of ourselves. We ask ourselves this question like there's going to be a single fixed answer. According to Mel Schwartz from Psychology Today, people who ask this sort of question typically struggle with their identity and are searching for a core sense of themselves. The irony is that the more you seek to identify who you are, the more fragile you more likely feel about yourself. This fragility can be caused by a multitude of things: past experiences, people we've been exposed to, and the way we view ourselves, what mental state we're in at this current point in time, and even what we do for a living. Now, a lot of us base the thought of who we are either on the things we've done or the ideologies of people around us. A father figure, a mother figure, friends, family, or even a spouse. We generally adopt ideologies of who we should be based on other people's preconceptions of who they think we should be. This is an issue when it comes to trying to figure out who we are when we're trying to be who other people want us to be. We can't live our lives for other people. We need to live our lives for ourselves. And if you're constantly trying to be someone you're not, you're never going to be truly happy. We try and seek validation from those around us, generally bending to their will, doing what we think they would like, and therefore changing who we are based on their preconceptions. We do this when it comes to everything. A lot of people do it either on Instagram, Facebook, and even in real life. We adjust who we are based on the people we're around. And this is a natural thing that does occur. But when we actually struggle with the question, who am I? This doesn't help that. I ask myself this question a lot, and in 2015, I wrote a short poem titled, Who Am I? The opening lines were, who am I? This is a question no one can answer, neither you nor I. I struggled a lot with my sense of identity and who I was. Coming from a multicultural background, I didn't feel like I fit in with any specific ethnic group. And even with my friends, I had nerdier friends, I had cooler friends, I had friends from almost every spectrum. And although my group of friends, who are amazing, took me in, never physically made me feel like I didn't belong, I still had this internal sense that I didn't belong anywhere specifically. This led me down a path where I ended up needing to go and get professional help, and I went for therapy. Well, therapy never answered the question, who am I? It did make me understand the things I had done and the reason I reacted the way I did in certain situations, and what led me to those situations. Throughout this time, I did a lot more research trying to figure out who I was, trying to understand myself a little bit better. And I came across a page called actualize.org, where they spoke about the things we had done does not influence the person we are today, because the decisions we made yesterday may not be the same decisions we'd make today. The things we liked yesterday are not the things we like today, and the things that interested us yesterday may not be the things that interest us today. He then ended off the episode by saying that who am I is never a question that can be answered, because we're constantly changing, we're constantly evolving, changing from one person to the next as days go by. As we experience different situations, we learn how to react to situations differently. Mel Schwartz says, the emphasis shouldn't be on discovering who you are or what's buried beneath, but on facilitating the emergence of what you'd like to experience. Instead of focusing on the things we've done badly and the things we've done well, and using that to determine who we are, we should rather focus on who we'd like to become. What are your morals? Who is the person you want to be? Do you want to be a kind person? Do you want to be helpful? If so, be helpful. Tomorrow, even today, change a little bit into who you'd like to become. If we stick with only being one person, we move to the opposite end of the spectrum, where we know ourselves completely, and that limits the room for growth. And to quote Oscar Wilde, only a shallow person knows who they are. If we know ourselves completely, that means we're unwilling to change. And if we're unwilling to change, we become stuck where we are. We become complacent. We may never be either completely happy or never actualize our entire dream. If we are never growing and never learning, what's the point? We should view our identities as an ongoing process rather than a snapshot of who we are at a specific point in time. We should embrace a flowing sense of self, whereby we're perpetually reframing, reorganizing, and reconsidering ourselves. We should never believe that we are fixed as a single individual and that we are one specific person. As Mel Schwartz from Psychology Today puts it, the emphasis shouldn't be on discovering who you are or what's buried beneath, but on facilitating the emergence of what you'd like to experience. We need to focus on who we want to be rather than who we were. We need to be the person we want to be every day. And now when people ask me, who are you? I respond with, a better person than I was yesterday. So do yourself a favor and write down your new response to the question, who are you? Compare it to your answer in the beginning of the video. If you feel comfortable, drop both answers down in the comments below. See how people see themselves, see how people see you. Help one another, learn from one another. If this video helped you in any way, feel free to share it. If you like the video, feel free to give it a like. If you didn't find any benefit from this video, maybe watch a couple of my other videos, maybe those will be of any benefit to you. If you guys have any feedback, please leave it down in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, and as always, love you, miss you, bye.